Hello students, now let me discuss the next important element, that is so called as distinctions or differences between the financial accounting and the cost accounting. And this element is important from exam point of view. Please go through the same. Let us go through all the points of differences one by one. The first important point of difference is that purpose. Purpose in the sense intention. What is the intention of financial accounting? Financial accounting is going to serve two main intentions. One is that whether the company has earned the profits or incurred the loss. And second thing is that what is the financial position, financial status and financial performance of the company. So as to fulfill these intentions, profit and loss account as well as the balance sheet, these are the two important statements which are going to be prepared. That is the purpose of financial accounting. And whereas speaking about the cost accounting, the real intention of the cost accounting is that it is going to provide the cost related information to the management for the sake of decision making. Literally it means that so as to take decisions, the company is going to keep costing information as the base. That is the purpose of cost accounting. And second thing is that statutory requirements. Statutory requirements means whether the adoption of the financial accounting is compulsory or the mandatory. Answer is yes. So as to fulfill the legal provisions of the Income Tax Act, so as to fulfill the requirements of the Companies Act, they have to mandatorily adopt and follow the legal provisions of the Companies Act as well as the Income Tax Act. From this point of view, maintenance of the financial accounting is mandatory as well as compulsory. But whereas speaking about the cost accounting, the cost accounting is not mandatory. It is purely voluntary in nature. It is purely optional one. If we are willing to adopt it, to follow it, we can. Otherwise, we can ignore it. That is the statutory requirement of the maintenance of cost accounting. And third thing is that nature. By nature, the financial accounting is historical in nature. Once the transactions are going to be carried, the proper records are going to be maintained, and those records are going to give the clear picture of transactions so engaged by an enterprise. That is the nature of financial accounting. It gives only the picture of history. But whereas the cost accounting is concerned, it gives the information relating to the future. It is futuristic in nature, in the sense the company is going to put the efforts so as to do the estimation, so as to do the anticipation of the selling price, so as to fix the price at which the product is going to be sold in the market. With respect to that, the cost accounting is beneficial. And third thing is that classification. Strictly speaking about the financial accounting, no such classification of the cost are going to be made. But whereas speaking about the cost accounting, the costs are going to be classified into various types. And profit. The profit is concerned, as far as the financial accounting is concerned, the profit is going to be earned company as a whole. But whereas the cost accounting is concerned, the profit is going to be ascertained unit wise, product wise, process wise, as well as department wise. The profit is going to be calculated. And whereas the reporting is concerned, the financial statements are going to be prepared annually. At the end of every financial year, the reports are going to be submitted in case of financial accounting. But whereas speaking about the cost accounting, the various statements are going to be prepared on a regular basis, on a continuous basis. And whereas the applicability is concerned, the cost accounting is applicable to all the types of business organization irrespective of nature and the size of the company. That is the applicability. But whereas the cost accounting is concerned, it becomes applicable to all those industries or manufacturing concerns which are engaged in production of the goods, which are engaged in rendering of services. There it becomes applicable. And later the control areas. The financial accounting control areas are controlling the financial position, controlling the cash position. But whereas the controlling areas of the cost accounting is mainly three elements of cost. They used to focus on controlling the three elements of cost. Those are material, labor, as well as overheads. And speaking about the use of statistical techniques, in case of financial accounting, no statistical techniques or tools are going to be effectively used, implemented. But whereas the cost accounting is concerned, various extensive tools and techniques are going to be adopted. Various graphs, charts are going to be used so as to analyze the cost. Whereas the principles is concerned, in case of financial accounting, actually the gaps are the principles. Generally accepted accounting principles are the accounting principles which are going to be adopted in case of financial accounting. But whereas the cost accounting is concerned, actually some sort of costing principles, costing rules and regulations are going to be extensively used as well as adopted. And next thing is that scope of measurement. Speaking about the scope of measurement, actually the financial accounting is going to consider the scope as the company as the whole. But whereas the scope of the measurement of the costing will be, they is to focus on actually the unit wise and process wise, department wise, they are going to focus the costing elements. And next thing is that the valuation of stock. In case of financial accounting, actually the comparison is going to be made so as to do the valuation of the stock. That is cost or market price, whichever is less, that is going to be considered so as to do the valuation of the stock. But whereas in case of cost accounting, the stock is going to be valued purely on cost price. And whereas the parties to be served, the financial accounting is going to serve the intention of each and every stakeholders. Stakeholders means the best example can be each and every kind of the shareholders, suppliers, employees, customer, society, government. It is going to fulfill the intention of each and every stakeholders. But whereas the cost accounting is going to fulfill intention of the management. The management is using the cost accounting for the sake of decision making. And whereas the scope of correction, the financial accounting will never focus on correction aspect, but whereas the cost accounting is concerned, it will identify the loopholes, it will take the corrective actions so that the cost must be minimized and all the loopholes must be removed and properly been regulated. And last thing is that requirements served. The financial accounting is going to serve the requirements of a company as a whole, but whereas it is going to fulfill the requirements of the management. So these are the some of the points of differences that we can find out between the financial accounting as well as the cost accounting. Please go through the same. Thank you.